I just want to have one. Is it all right could we add Mr. Hilton to the agenda for 5 minutes? I just have a few questions for him, or just ask them now, however you want to. I think we talked, and you talked to staff. All agreements has been, I mean, it's ready to be, it hasn't been recorded yet, but it's ready to.
Yeah, everybody that joins the part that we're wanting to have abandoned has agreed on. The Mileses, Bob and Monty Dillard, and Lane and Frosty. We do have a new neighbor out there where a house was sold. I have spoken to them, and they're all in agreement too. So they told me to bring whatever they need to sign, and they'll be glad to do it.
All right, and then my other question, the turnaround at that one driveway, right now on the road, on the state maintained end, that's all been worked out where it'll continue to be a turnaround there.
You talking about for the school bus?
Yeah, well, it's gonna have to be a turnaround period.
Right.
Because any vehicle that comes in there is gonna have to turn around.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said that you told me you were gonna contact those people and talk to them.
Yeah, and well, the school bus turns around about halfway up the paved part, so, it's always done that for years.
Right.
And I talked to Will Dodson about that, and I told him, it's been like that forever, and there's no way they can turn a school bus around there where the paved is.
Yeah.
And I talked to, and the Mileses, they're the ones that own that, they're in their 90s, and I've been talking with them and their grandson.
Right.
They're going to turn it over to their grandson, and he told me it's never going to be a problem for him. He just comes up on the weekend, he's not planning on blocking it or anything like that.
Well, and also and I understand when VDOT pushes snow down, then they're still turning around. I just want to ensure we've got a turnaround there.
And if they want to push all the way down to my house,
The guy you talked to is one, he just left a little while ago. I'll give you his number. I just want to ensure we've got some kind of turnaround there.
Yeah.
Do you think they would be willing to put that in writing, or?
I'm sure. It may take me a little time. Justin, he doesn't live right next to his grandparents, but yeah, I don't think it'd be an issue whatsoever.
The only hesitance I have of doing it tonight is if you're ready, I think we could do it if the board's in agreement. These right-of-ways and all that stuff that haven't been recorded, if you could get them recorded, then I would think at our next meeting we could take it up, couldn't we? And it's not that I don't trust you, it's just, we have to be sure that everyone has a right-of-way, or the court's gonna make us buy right-of-ways for people. But,
It's everybody's safety.
it is. So that, and I don't mean to disappoint anyone, but we gotta kind of cover the bases. If you could get that recorded, then I think the board would be in a position. I haven't heard anyone come forward or any problems with this. Or could would it be proper to make a motion to approve it contingent upon the recordation of this stuff?
My question is, with it being a public right of way, can you record it and tell we about it?
If we get it recorded and then for some reason, it'll be already recorded.
That's my question, that's a legal question, I don't know. I don't even know if they could record it till we about it.
Well, I mean, I trust y'all, but you understand my quandary.
I mean, y'all have you still have the copies right opposite for our new neighbors. Everything's signed, and we even had a notary.
Notarized.
Yeah, so
you got all that?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Except for the.
They just have to be recorded.
Yeah.
Is that what I understand? They just have to be recorded?
They just have to be recorded, and she's already got copies of all the permissions, so.
Except for the new neighbors. Except for the new neighbors.
I can get that within a week easily.
Well, contingent on getting the new neighbors, would you all agree? Then I'd make that motion at this time.
Second.
Just so I'm clear, your motion is to abandon the road contingent on
the new neighbors,
getting that information from the
new neighbor and a copy of something on the turnaround.
Sure.
And once you get those, then the abandonment will take effect, then you could record all
The
the.
right of ways.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Contingent on all of that happening.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Complicated.
Oh, he's a really good knows all about it.
The key is just not to lock anybody in. As long as we can get people right away, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, would you like us to read back what we believe the motion is?
Yeah, you might, I kinda went all the way around the barn, so y'all close the door now.
Mr. Booth made a motion and Mr. Coleman seconded to move to abandon the discontinued portion of Rosehill Road, beginning at the interstate maintenance and ending at the intersection with Laurel Branch Road, contingent on the new neighbors signing the agreement and getting agreement from the person who owns the turnaround property.
That's it.
You did an excellent job there.
I said it so fast, I didn't think she got it all, but she did.
You're not going to confuse her.
No, you're not. All right, Mr. Chair, if you have Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Ms. Kuchenberg,
Yes.
Mr. Yoder,
Yes.
Mr. Turman.
Yes.
All right, unanimous, thank you.
Thank you. We'll take care of it.
We'll put the road numbers on it too, just
Yeah.
to make it official, just,
720, was it 22?
and then whatever, yeah. When you reference Laurel Branch, put that road number on there.
Yeah. We're slow, but we get there.
All right, there you go. Mr. Chair, I think you're to number 10, Constitution Officers Report.
Y'all through with that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know, you got any pocket change? We
Yeah.
have to balance the budget.
Where'd you get yours?
Or a good hot dog.
I can tell you, no one's offered to tip me for this job before. So.
No.
That would be a first.
Well, that all went.
All right.
Moving on to your report, Karen.
All right, Mr. Chair, so if I might, that moves us to 11, County Administrator's Report. Under that, A, the request for exemption to Floyd County Ordinance 6231C2, vision site distance requirements setback for 2419 Kyle Weeks Road to be built a minimum of 20 feet from the edge of the roadway. You will recall this is something you took up at your last meeting and you all wanted to table. And some folks I think wanted to visit or consider it and asked that it be brought back today. So that's why it's before you.
Did you get up there
I have.
Did you?
twice?
All right.
You did
I've
Lawrence.
been meaning to, I have that.
And
What did you
to
think?
be honest with you, I've got a problem with it. I really do.
Oh, I mean,
Because when you come up off of Union School, you come up top the hill.
Yeah.
The hill crest there, the house is not that far off the road. And even if they moved it back 20 foot, it's going to outfit it in their living room, the way I'm looking at it. If I was looking at our stakes, they got 400 stakes around there. So. I just had to sort of guess where they wanted to put it. And I just got a problem with approving it.
I worry about it. If we start doing it for just any reason.
Yeah.
Why even have the rule?
Because if I'm looking right, it's going to go that night, if you
Yeah.
go 20 foot, that's going to put the street right up against the
So is
house.
it on this side of their house then? Is this where they
Looks-
wanted to put it?
It looks to be right here.
Oh, okay. So we could put it over here.
You know, it's the hillside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right on the top of the hill.
Oh, that's okay. I have to go with what your,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, your district, you,
You've looked at it.
Concerns in there.
yeah, I do too.
So it means I can't make a motion now.
Well, no action.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you just want to, then you can give me the chair.
Right.
No, we just, no action at this time.
No action. All right, Mr. Chair, that moves us to 11B, appointment of Dr. Linda Millsaps to Onward New River Valley to fill a vacant public official position set to expire on June 30, 2021, and to continue that appointment from July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2023. And you will see in your packet the letter that I received about that, and as you can see, it also refers to item which is 11C, appointment of an Economic Development Authority member to Onward New River Valley to fill the Industrial/Economic Development Authority from July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2023. Joe Eagle's position. So you see in your packet, of course, the letter, and my understanding is that Mr. Beagle, let me say it properly, Mr. Beagle's term is up. He serves as the county's EDA representative, and his appointment expires June 30. And then, of course, Terry Morris had the public official position, and she obviously she's not here, but it also expires on June 30. Whatever you would like to do.
Are you willing to serve? Are you willing to serve?
Yes, sir.
I'll move your appointment.
I was gonna make a motion, not give her a chance. I'll second.
I was trying to be nice.
I know you was, but I'm trying to break her in quick.
Do you want separate motions or, yeah, okay, separate motions it is.
All right, we'll use a motion by Mr. Yoder, second by Mr. Booth. All right. Mr. Yoder,
Yes.
Mr. Booth.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Ms. Cookerman?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Turman.
Yes.
Thank you, unanimous. All right, then for 11C.
I'll make a motion that the EDA has requested via Ms. Hodges' email that we received that Ms. Marty Holliday be the Floyd County Economic Development Authority representative on the Onward New River Valley Board of Directors for the term that runs through July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2023.
Second.
Motion second, any other discussion?
All right, thank you. Ms. Cookerman?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. Yoder?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Then that gets you to 11D, proclamation recognizing May 2 through 8, 2021 as Resilience Week. You'll see that in your packet, and resilience refers to issues related to adverse child experiences.
Looking forward to the motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
I have a question. Where did this, I'm just wondering where this came from?
Michael Wade at New River Community Services.
Thank you.
All right. Motion is second.
And Mr. Wade did send his thanks for your consideration in advance. So now if I move to, let's see, was it Mr. Yoder, I believe? Mr. Yoder?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Ms. Cookerman?
Yes.
And Mr. True.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Let's see, I think that's the formal list. I have a couple of just general updates about staff things under My comment, we also wanted to, I believe, move to a closed session. So however you would like to handle that. Oh, that thing, yes.
I'll try to do that after closed session.
Okay, all right. Mr. Chair, if I might take just about 2 minutes to give you a couple of quick updates before we move to closed session, if that's all right. But there's a couple of things that I think you all would like to know. I don't have final numbers yet, but I believe for our 3 days of tax-free, fee-free tire drop-off, we think we got around a little more than 600 tires over the 3 days. Everyone came in with their 12, as we suggested, and many of those folks did come in after the traditional business hours. However, on average, so far, we've had about 6 or 7 people that's coming in the shifted hours each day. So that would have been a total of somewhere around 18 to 20. And again, the gentlemen are supposed to bring their exact numbers up, but that's kind of where we are. I sent you a note about it. Turns out our recycling rate is higher than we expected, thanks primarily to our business community. And so while the state might adjust it, the number we're going to send to the state is 22.6%. Our requirement was 15. But because we were concerned, I did reach out to Dr. Wheeler, and we're going to send them a flyer that I'm going to make here this week. And they're going to go ahead and do some training at the schools around it for the kids and have flyers to take home, hopefully to be appropriately recycled at some point. So appreciate his help on that.
Yeah.
And just a heads up that the solid waste inspector will be here tomorrow. So that's the other news on that. I think that's not true. We do have. Yes. And we did have, thanks to the sheriff's office, deputies out apparently doing some green box awareness and ticketing the last couple weekends. And I've heard a little bit about that, as I believe has the sheriff. So I think it's getting noticed, and appreciate his support and help on that.
Excellent.
Yes. On the tourism MOU, the quick update is Kayla and I have a draft that we're working through now. It sounds like a lawyer wrote it. So after we I think we are very much in agreement on what we're suggesting. We're just doing a little wordsmithing. So we will get that to you and with an anticipation of bringing that to the early to mid-May meetings for both organizations, but give it to the people who are on the TDC first as your representatives to walk through it a little bit more. We have approved festivals, several at Chantilly and also Replenish so far under the ordinance. And I think the last thing I had on here I thought you all would be interested in is related to Parks and Recreation. We have made an offer, and I think Jacob has been able to hire someone that is going to be our employee to do concessions. So we're moving forward with that. They need their Safe Serve training, but they've agreed to do that, and we'll do that online. And Jacob has also prepared for me a draft 3-year plan of his direction of what he'd like to see out of Parks and Rec and where he'd like to go. And so we're meeting every other week or so to kind of start working down that direction as best he can. He's working very hard in a lot of hours, so I'm not going to tell you all that. And beyond that, of course, as you know, the EDA folks are very, very busy, and so you've been hearing a little bit about that. But I think that's pretty much, is there anything else I need to add to that? Okay, well, I want to make sure to give all the staff their appropriate kudos, because everybody's been working very, very hard.
I think that's great on the recreation front. I don't know that there's ever been a long-range plan put in place.
When I was involved, we were putting out fires. It was about, I'll get through the next weekend.
Well, the first year we put a plan together, and then after that it was reactionary more than anything.
I really appreciate that concise and up-to-date update.
There you go. It's getting late. Thank you, Jim.
No, it was up-to-date update.
There you go. Thank you.
When you talk to Dr. Wheeler, thank him for making school available to us tonight.
Yes.
Yes, I've already sent him a text and telling him, while we had visitors, we were still able to handle it, and I thanked him, so I will thank you again.
Appreciate the update. I want to thank you for the work you've done to help me with solid waste issues in the district, as well as the hours. I've heard a lot of feedback here. The numbers may not automatically be there. It's going to take some time or adjustment, and that's on an as-needed basis for most people when they're going to work.
Right.
But it has been an overwhelming positive response that I've heard, so yeah, thank you.
Yeah, same with my constituents. Everybody was thrilled at the new hours.
And word's starting to get around, so
I just think it's great, 600 tires.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Yeah,
That's a lot of tires.
500 the first day, and a couple of them were very fancy. We kind of suspected they were very pricey.
I got a lot of this on hand.
White make snow in the wintertime.
Not many more that ain't in the creek.
That's right.
Yes, or in the green box that they gotta pull out,
Right.
so.
Or start.
Well, now, it does work. I'm not gonna say how I know, but it does work.
So, Mr. Chair, that's the end of my update on the staff activities for this week.
I did notice at the end, Buffalo Mountain Radio boxes on Monday morning this time was way down compared to what they was. I took my trash Sunday evening and got to talk to a couple of young ones. They had to have some fun that way on that one, so.
We like to have our fun, they gotta have theirs.
Oh, yeah.
So it comes with the job.
Great bunch of guys, and I appreciate what they're doing.
It's been very helpful. I've also heard a lot about it.
Oh, yeah, and please express my thanks anyway especially to the solid waste staff. I mean, they put forth an effort, and I think it'll pay off. We just have to give it time. That's right.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and I will pass it along, because as you know, many of them have elderly parents that they also care for, so it's not as easy to shift as you might think, but they're changing their schedules and doing things.
They're doing their best to work with the new schedule, from what I can tell and understand.
Very good.
So, third session, we need to go around the.
Let's see, Tabitha was kind enough to send me section 2.2-3711, 1A3. Discussion of or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose, or the disposition of a publicly held real property when discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, and code section 2.2-3711, 1A5, discussion concerning a prospective business or industry, or the expansion of an existing business or industry that relates to manufacturing and support service projects where no previous announcement has been made, and code section 2.2-3711, 1A29, discussion of a public contract involving the expenditure of public funds, and discussion of the terms of scope of such contract where discussion in open session would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body.
So moved.
Motion is second.
All right. All right. Mr. Booth?